What's up, man?
What's going on?
What a great lunch.
Oh, it's gonna be perfect.
We are grilling steaks, some ribeyes. You
Yep,
stopped at the store and picked those up. We got some cream corn going.
yep. It's gonna be perfect.
Tell me about this new grill you got, though.
Man, the new pellet grill. I had to buy into the hype. That's where it's at, for sure. I have not made anything bad on it yet. Um, Steaks are by far the best thing you can possibly do on it, but
Pull that a little closer to you.
it's so backwards how you go about it. So, normally a steak, like on your grill, I could probably throw it down for 6 or 7 minutes and be ready to eat. This grill, I put it on about 225 and actually smoke it for about 30 to 40 minutes until I get to about, the internal temp I want, about 100, 110. And then I'll pull the steaks off, crank it up, and throw them back on whenever it gets to about 500 degrees and sear them. Man, medium rare all the way through, just beautiful and perfect. It is fascinating.
Yeah. I've heard people talk about cooking them like that way, either on the oven,
Yeah.
like you bake them in the oven for a while,
Yep.
and then you can sear them in like a cast iron or something,
Yep.
which is what we were just inside talking about.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it make you nervous the first time you do it. Like, steaks aren't supposed to be in the grill for 40 minutes,
Right.
And they're still not done in 40 minutes, so that makes you a little nervous, but came out perfect.
So we've actually hung out today for the first time
Yeah,
in a while.
It's been a while.
You just text me for breakfast, which
Yeah.
sometimes you do when like we, both have to take the boys to school,
Yep.
and then we've occasionally went out to breakfast, but we haven't done it in a while.
No, it has been a while. I've been super busy with the summer. I think everybody has. And just going to Eminence constantly, basically. And with work and everything else, it just, no excuse, but we got it done today.
Yeah, cold jacks for breakfast.
Absolutely. It was delicious. And we're going to cut our costs in half and eat ribeyes at the house here, so.
Yeah, it is crazy that we can have ribeyes cheaper than you can go to a coffee house.
Yeah.
But we did buy like one of the most expensive sandwiches each,
Yeah.
and then we bought some of the most expensive coffee also, nice specialty coffee. So
Yeah. It was delicious, though.
yeah, when you want a top line experience,
Got to go get it.
costs a little bit of money. But you can also walk in there with a couple of bucks and get some food too.
Yep.
We don't really have any other like purpose other than, hey, let's hang out and see what we can talk about.
I feel like that's how we've always been, though. It's always a spur of the moment. Let's just do something.
Yeah.
That's what makes it great.
I think we should probably go and put the steaks on the grill.
For sure.
So let's cut and let's do that.
Sounds good.
All right. Sweet. So steaks are on now.
Yep.
Couple minutes.
Tops.
Yeah.
Don't want to mess these things up.
Oh, they smell delicious already.
Yeah. It's gonna be a perfect lunch. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And it only a couple of bucks.
Yeah. $10 later, we're eating ribeyes.
Sweet.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that's what. The other day I went and I just stopped by the store just to grab stuff for dinner: pork steaks, corn, green beans, potatoes.
Yeah.
And I got up and he goes, "Man, you're gonna have a great dinner tonight." And he rang it up and it was $10.83. He was like, "Well, that's really cheap." It's like, yeah, he was a young kid. It's like, well, yeah, when you cook, it's not,
Right. People don't understand that. I mean, you'll spend that much in frozen stuff at Walmart to try to cook a dinner when you can cook up some freaking pork and canned goods and everything else and just have a meal.
Well, and that was me, Courtney, and Blaine, and we ate that. And then the next day, or the next night, actually for dinner, we had leftover pork steaks, so I cut it up. We had one leftover pork steak, so I cut it up, and we made tacos.
Yeah, perfect.
Out of it. So I made the Mexican tacos with all the toppings and everything else. And then that fed us again for the dinner.
Right.
I mean, we had a few sides and, added peppers and things like that. But literally, we spent less than I think $6 on dinner the second night.
Hmm.
So it was, Anyway, food doesn't have to be expensive.
No, people let it be.
I also don't mind going out to Chalmette and and having an expensive dinner either.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I like the cheapness of just eating at home, but every once in a while I gotta go get Six Stein's wings. I just can't do it quite like them
they have the best.
by far.
Um, so you're not going?
Not going.
Okay.
Staying home. Probably go up Saturday night maybe or Sunday.
You got your first football game
Yep.
Saturday?
Carson's first football game Saturday, or first football game for the year is Saturday. So I'm gonna hit that up. Super excited. We don't have very many kids this year on our team, but it's gonna be a good time. And as long as the kids have fun, it was worth it.
Yeah, I'm coaching Blaine's soccer team. We have our first game this Saturday too.
Awesome.
We're supposed to have 7 kids on the team. The most I've ever had is 5 at a practice, and I have 2 parents that have never responded. I've called them, texted them, emailed them.
Yeah, that's we had a few of those too for football.
That's
Which
crazy.
registration for football is $150. No money back. Like,
Yeah, you just give that money up.
yeah, like you paid for this kid to play, and like you don't even show up, and then texting Megan, like she can give you your money back. I mean, she does. We don't own the league,
Right.
Money didn't go in our bank account, but
Let's go flip these steaks.
yeah, perfect. Oh, look at that! I figured either way they made it. They make something for everything.
Yeah. Well, and now that I got my new monitor today, that's the thing in there in that case.
Right.
Um, I'll actually use my camera and not my phone, but because it bypasses the 30-minute
Yeah.
session. So I'll actually hook that up and use that instead. And with that, I can actually use remotes and stuff. So
Awesome. It's gonna be a sweet setup, especially on these nice days. I mean, what else are we gonna do?
well, it was like yesterday. I have my hammock straps up here,
Yeah.
so I hung in my hammock for an hour and like prepped and tested things and did some work on some other stuff I'm working on, and then got ready for the podcast. So it was like I chilled out for an hour before the podcast in my hammock on my porch and set everything up, and then got out of the hammock, took the hammock down, started filming. It's like, this isn't bad.
No, I mean, we're gonna sit here and bullshit anyway, so it's perfect.
Right.
It's beautiful. Got the screened-in porch. It's awesome.
Yeah. We can talk about soccer and football.
Yeah.
It's crazy our kids are already so old.
Dude, you ain't lying. It blows my mind
Yeah.
that I have a first grader, and I don't know. It's crazy to me. Tell you what's crazy. Have you ever thought about this? Mason and Carson are 2.5 years apart. They only have 1 year together in high school. I was like, are you sure? Had to do all the math myself. Yeah, works out. Freshman and senior. I'm 2.5 years apart. That's just crazy.
You probably wouldn't want to have too many, though, anyway.
Well, I was hoping for a couple. I was hoping for a couple good sports years, It is what it is now, so.
Yeah. Well, if Blaine's been asking for a brother and a sister.
Both?
Yeah. Yeah, he wants a baby brother and a baby sister.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I mean, if that would ever happen, though, he's going to be significantly older.
Right.
He's already 5,
Yeah.
5.5, so.
Before you know it, he'll be 10.
Dude. Yeah, they're probably done. Let's go.
I would guess.
Now we took a break to eat our steaks, as you can see in this picture.
Lunch was good.
It was. That was excellent. If I could ever get advertisements like enough to make $100, if I could put $100 in my pocket from sitting down and talking to people for an hour and a half and grilling some steaks,
Right. Dream job.
I made it. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
We made it, Mom. We did it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, even that's just a little side money, a little extra.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I really like, learning how to do this stuff and record moments and conversations, because we're taking our friendship, and basically putting like a value to it by
Right.
sharing it out there.
Can you imagine if all the conversations we've had if we were sitting in front of this thing?
Right?
It'd be a different world. We'd already be making the Joe Rogan money on podcasts for sure.
Yeah. Well, that was, I was always kind of interested in recording stuff, but I never like knew how to do it. And I got a little bit of a taste of it. I was like, okay, this
Right.
is important. And I really wanted to do it. So, been teaching myself how to hit record and what happens when you do that, and then how to like edit some stuff. Me and Courtney made a few YouTube videos
Yeah.
of backpacking trips or hikes that we
Yeah,
went
I've
on.
seen them. They looked awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then
The Eminence Weekend,
the
Memorial Weekend.
yep,
Yeah, it was a good one.
yeah, that one's fun. I think that one actually has more views than any other ones now
Yeah.
on YouTube, because it also gets when people search for like Eminence,
Right. Pulls up.
it comes up. So yeah, it hasn't got a lot, but it does have some. So
It'll get there.
um, we talked about football. So you're kind of coaching, you and Megan.
Yeah. Me and Megan took the reins at first because nobody else was. We got a few other dads there that are helping now, and heck, they're doing more coaching than I am. I Between work and everything else, I haven't really had time to actually coach the team a whole lot. But I will be there today. Our first football game Saturday. I will be there for that. Megan's actually been whipping them kids into shape, uh, which she doesn't have the football knowledge, which is where the other dads have came in and really helped out a lot.
Um, it seems as if there's not as many parents willing to coach as what, I don't know, maybe I thought there was when I was a kid or something.
Right? I mean, I feel you. I mean, it seemed like everybody wanted to coach back then. My dad always coached everything I did. I mean, other than football, but there were so many dads ready and willing to coach football. So,
Yeah, that's my dad coached a lot of my stuff too, and I played for other people. Um, but like this year when I went to sign Blaine up for soccer, they said, and I did miss registration. I missed it by a day or two, and when I went in there, like actually it's too late. But if you agree to coach, we'll sign him up.
set
Uh,
up.
and then I got like a team that wouldn't have had a coach, and they were just calling parents. That's what some of the parents that ended up on my team, the Civic Center called them and asked them if they would coach
Yeah.
because there was no coach. So yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's been this year's team is a little crazy. I mean, Carson played on the 6U team last year, and we had like 15 kids. Carson was the only kindergarten though last year, so I figured this year was going to be a struggle. And like I said, I think we only have 9 kids this year, which all Carson's buddies and last year teammates went up to the 8U team. But it don't seem like there's that many people that even want to get their kids involved in sports anymore.
yeah, I don't know if it's people just being too selective. I mean, I know some parents are like, my kid's gonna be a baseball player, and then
Right.
that child just plays baseball 12 months a year,
Yeah,
and that's it.
that's just people wanting and wishing instead of just letting their kids be kids.
Yeah. What else is going on in your life? You got any stuff coming up?
Hunting season, man. I'm super excited for that. Cannot wait. It's just right around the corner. Next weekend pretty well kicks off hunting season for the year. All the way
Run me
till
through. What are you hunting?
so Labor Day weekend or the September 1st of every year is the first day of dove season.
Davey was talking about that.
Yeah, so we always start off dove season pretty well just goes and kicks it off for the year, and as soon as dove season's over, we'll go straight into deer and ducks and geese, and it won't stop until we're finished with turkeys in April or May. So
Let's dive into hunting. That's been a big part of your life,
yeah,
and that's something that you're really passionate about and skilled at. Uh, where'd that come from?
I guess just my grandpa and my dad really. Say my dad got me hunting. I think I started deer hunting when I was probably 10, maybe 9. I think I killed my first deer when I was 10. But just my grandpa, I always went out with him. Even before I could shoot a gun, I was sitting there, deer hunting with him, or going out and killing squirrels and learning how to drive his truck on the back road, just stuff like that when I was young. I think that's where it all started, really, and just blew up from there. You know, got my first taste of blood when I was 10. You know, on a deer, and ain't stopped yet.
That's what Renee, when she was on here, and she has her business now. It's a lot about young family, or what was around. What were you around when you were young, and that kind of becomes kind of a passion or
Yeah.
a reference point for you, almost like a relaxation or
Oh yeah.
or something. Um, Hunting. So what dove? What do you do with dove? Why is that different than deer hunting or duck hunting?
Well, I mean, like I said, the dove just kind of kicks us off for the year. Dove's a blast. There's no, you don't need camo. You don't need anything but you and your buddies and the camaraderie and a cooler full of beer and hide up in some hay bales and just shoot the crap out of them when they come in. You know, fun little targets. You know, get yourself on point for the year. And it's just heck, it's one of my favorite things to eat too.
Yeah, I ate some at your house a few times.
Yeah,
It's been really good.
yeah. Wrap them in bacon and grill them up. And they're perfect.
I'd like to go dove hunting this year. I think last year you invited me once, but I was busy that weekend.
Yeah, we always kick it off out at Underwoods, which I mean we put in some time and effort out there, which I haven't this year. I've been so busy with work, um, which Justin's got the field ready and disced up. I mean we've went as far as we have a fake power line that we put up just for dove. I mean it's a little crazy, but
What the power line attracts them?
yeah. I mean think about where you always see doves at. You know, sitting on power
I
lines,
don't really look for doves.
sitting on fence. Man, like our brains work different.
Yeah.
I drive down the road and that's all I'm looking for is geese and ducks and deer and dove and turkeys and actually seen an awesome group of turkeys right out by the house earlier after we got done with breakfast. Just right in that bean field right across from my house, and it was a good hatch of turkeys. There's a ton of babies. I'd say there's 25, 30 babies out there, so I was happy to see that.
That's good. So when is dove season over?
Be honest with you, I could not tell you that answer.
Okay.
All I know is we put 2 or 3 weeks in of dove hunting, and then we're normally done. So they said bow season starts September 15th, so 15 days of dove season basically for us. Which I honestly want to say it runs into October. I think it runs that late. We normally forget about it pretty quick once the deer start coming.
And then jump into early bow season.
Yep, bow season will be rolling September 15th, and last year I didn't get to do a whole lot of bow hunting. I was just having some issues, and once I got them resolved, it was duck season and goose season, which is my new just absolute favorite passion. It's my most expensive one so far, but with the help of some friends and just people giving us permission to their property and stuff like that, we had quite a bit of fun last year.
Um, so you'll bow hunt, and then when does duck start?
So you'll have an early goose season, which is more like a residential goose, just the geese that stay in our area that don't really migrate. That'll come in October. I want to say October 13th, somewhere around there, right around there. No, actually October 6th, and go to the 13th maybe. Anyway, you'll 2 weeks early goose, and then our duck season won't come in until the 1st of November. And then it'll run for a couple weeks, and they actually shut it down here in what's called the middle zone. They shut it down for a week, let the birds kind of catch back up, and then they reopen it, and it'll go all the way into January.
So you got plenty of time with that.
Oh yeah, yeah. For
Now
sure.
that's the one where you're out like in the water.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Yeah, most time you're hunting ducks from a marshy area, but dry field duck hunting or dry field goose hunting is by far the most fun. This is where it's at. If you can get on a cornfield that they're coming to, it's an absolute blast.
Why do you think why is that more fun for you than say deer hunting?
Uh, I, I think it's just honestly just the camaraderie of it. We spend a lot of time just talking to each other about it all the time, chasing geese around, trying to find the fields they're using, calling people, calling friends, calling neighbors. Just trying to find the geese. And when we find them, we all get together, go set up, and just I mean, you just hang out, shoot the crap, laugh, talk, and when you start seeing geese come, you get down in your blind and just hang on tight for a few minutes and light them up when they get close.
Rather than deer hunting where you're on a solo, you're sitting
Right.
in a solo stand for hours.
Right. I mean, which there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying your peace of mind doesn't need to be there. Sometimes just sitting there by yourself and just enjoying it. But I do like the camaraderie and stuff of duck and goose hunting a lot.
How many people usually go out in a group with you?
Depending on how many geese are using the field, we normally try to get 6 or 7 people out there, especially if it's just a big group that's coming in. I mean, you want as many guns as you can, to just try to put them down. But duck hunting, if we go to the duck parks, there's a maximum of 4 people, and a lot of times it might just be 2 or 3 of us. Heck, I went down several times last year just by myself and hunted the duck parks.
What are duck parks?
It's like little conservation areas for the ducks. Basically, they'll have.
Hey, hold on a second. Let me change something real quick to make sure, or try to reduce anything we get from that weed eater.
All right.
All right, this will actually be brand new. I've never had it. I've never set it like this, and I don't have the headphones to hear it, see how it sounds. So whatever.
Just wing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I figure if worst case scenario, here's where we're at, that the podcast didn't work, and then you have to come back over.
And talk
And,
again.
yeah.
Oops.
So we have to hang out again.
Right.
We'll have to have lunch again. We'll grill some steaks.
Perfect.
So whether it works or it doesn't, we're kind of in the same boat.
So it's just not. I mean, I feel like everything we've ever done in our freaking 20 years of friendship, it seems like, has been winging it.
And there's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we've winged more than we've planned. I guarantee that.
oh yeah, what have we planned? We can count those on one hand.
Yeah, a couple of El Tio trips.
Okay, let's talk about that, because you brought that up this morning. When was the first time we did that at the F house?
It was either at the F house or out at Tim Catchside's when you pulled your camper out there and we stayed in the camper.
It was that time.
Yeah, and then we actually went back to the F house before we ever.
That's right. Okay, let's
went.
tell that. Yeah.
Oh man.
So I took my dad's camper.
Yep.
Out to Tim Catchside's house.
Yep, had a little party out there.
Now, I really wish that weed eater wasn't going right now. I really do. But okay, so I borrowed my uncle's story one time that him and some buddies were going fishing.
Yeah.
And him and some buddies were going fishing. Something. Maybe they took the camper, or they took the dad's thing, whatever. So they went. When they got back, the dad asked the son, "How was the fishing trip? Did you guys catch a bunch?" And the kid went on, "Oh yeah, we so on and so forth. Caught a bunch of fish, did this and that." And then the dad said, "Well, that's funny because the fishing poles are still in the garage." So anyway, yeah, I kind of used a fishing explanation to get the camper.
Yeah.
That's my neighbor. That's the other one.
He's looking good. I mean, he's got it going on for sure. Oh man.
Okay, he's gonna be on camera here in just a second. Probably blurred out a little bit, but it's a guy that rides his lawnmower around here, and he never wears a shirt. I've never seen him with a shirt on. I've never seen him mow grass either.
Just rides the mower.
I don't know. I just see him go around the corner and up and down the streets. I've never seen him mow grass. But all right. Anyway, so I got the camper and big fifth wheel camper. Hauled it out to Tim's. Got it parked for the big party, so we could all have somewhere to sleep.
Yep.
And then it was a good time. We partied.
Had a blast. Stayed up late. I mean,
We stayed up all night.
well, needless to say, we ended up staying up all night. Yeah.
Yeah. So at some point late in the evening, I would imagine probably around 1, 2, something like that.
Yeah.
Food came up, as it often does.
Right, we were hungry.
You get hungry if you've been up that long. Dinner was at 6. It's been a while.
Exactly.
Um, and for some reason, we decided the best way to solve our tired and hungriness:
Stay awake.
stay awake until El Tapatio opened the next day at 11.
Yeah, which they just changed their hours because we thought it was 10:30. So
It used to be 10:30,
yeah, so
and they just changed
we got screwed on that deal for
by
sure.
30 minutes. So we left Tim's. So nobody went to sleep. We drug a camper out there to sleep in. We did not sleep.
Nope.
I went out when we left. I went out the steep part because I
Yeah,
did not know
I
there was the
remember.
flat part,
Yeah.
and it actually cracked the fiberglass of the bed.
Yep.
So that's I don't we didn't tear anything up partying or anything else.
Just trying to tow
pulling
home.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, which that wasn't that big of a deal. No damage to the camp or anything. And then the flap of the bed actually hid the crack, so I didn't even know what happened. So then we went back to my house. Me and you stayed up,
Right.
and we had Kelly Birch and my brother with us,
Yep.
and they went to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. They fell asleep.
They fell asleep,
Oh,
and they
man.
told us not to go to El Tapatio without them.
Right. So we unhooked the camper, got everything ready, psyched ourselves up for this LTAP, and could not wake Stephen and Kelly up to save our lives.
We were jumping on them.
I mean, I'm not so sure they didn't get full on smacks to the face. I mean,
That happened.
they got everything.
Steven started speaking Spanish.
I remember.
Fluent
Fluent Spanish out of Steven's mouth. Never said a word of Spanish in his life.
Yeah.
Before or after this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then we
Mad
went-
as hell because they didn't wake up. So what did we do? We went to LTAP.
Yeah, we went to El Tapatio. When we got back, they were mad at us for not
Yeah,
waking them up.
'cause we
And
went
we were on
without 'em.
top of them, smacking them in the face, and it didn't happen.
We went without them. They were mad. Not our fault at that point.
And since then, in the middle of the night, we have decided to stay up until El Tapatio opens the next day,
Yeah.
go eat El Tapatio, and then go home and go to bed. Because the only logical way to end a great day is with El Tapatio. And if they're
Right.
closed, you have to
Exactly.
wait until they open again and then end it.
Yeah, we've done some stuff, man. If people even knew half the stuff, they probably wouldn't even understand why we've done some of the stuff we've done. But
Like the razors. Because
Oh,
that was a different time that we stayed up for El Tap. We just said the reasons why we stayed up for El Tapatio the next day. Those stories.
yeah, the Razors was pretty wild. I mean, I was at home that night and came out to hang out and did not go back home. Got lost in the woods for hours on end, ran out of gas. One of the Razors died.
I mean, we met riding bicycles
Yeah.
in elementary school.
Yep.
And then so we built bicycle ramps and all that wild stuff that you
Yeah.
do when you're a kid.
Met up every day. My mom would drop me off at my grandpa's house, and I'd take off from there. I'd get dropped off, tell grandma and grandpa hi, get on the bike, and be gone for the day.
Right.
I mean,
We weren't old.
No, I mean we were in probably 4th, 5th, 6th grade, somewhere around there. When did you
I-
move down? You
fifth.
5th grade, yeah. So yeah, I mean just take off for the whole day. Like my only job was to be home by dark.
That was it.
That was it.
That was
You
it.
know?
It was like be home, let my parents know I was home, but then I was allowed to be on my street
Right.
when
Yeah.
the street lights came on until like 9 or something, whenever it
Yeah.
was. I mean that was summertime. I'm not talking
Right.
school days. I don't remember bedtime or whatever it was then, but yeah, on like summer nights it was we had to be on our street. But then, like, you could tell your parents, "Hey, I'm over here, and then
Yeah.
like we'd play football by street light for
Yeah.
2 more hours,
Oh man.
or wiffle ball.
Kids
Kids don't do that.
No, at all. And I honestly feel bad for today's generation. It seems like they're missing all the little fun times that that we had. But
When you learn how to be alone without your parents' supervision, without adults, these are my peers. How do I interact with them without somebody else regulating how we interact with each other?
yeah, exactly. I mean, we didn't have phones, we didn't have tablets, we didn't have computers.
We
Played.
got on our bikes, and
Yeah.
we told our parents bye,
Yep.
and we would be back within 11 hours.
Right.
Like, that was
Right. if you're not home by dark, like the search party's coming for you. So yeah, I mean, kids these days like they don't get that, which I'm really hoping with the way where we live and with Carson having a lot of friends out there in the country that all of them kids will be into that kind of stuff. Which I mean, we pretty well let Carson do whatever now. If he wants to go to Miller's, he goes to Miller's. If he wants to go up the road, I haven't gave him full on free range to ride up to Brody Nicholson's yet, but it'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be no time, and I'm gonna be absolutely fine with that. But I don't know. I just don't want him sitting in. I mean, I get the computers. I mean, the cameras. Everything is a necessity in our world now, but I don't want them to skip all the fun times they could have had just because they want to play on a computer, play on a laptop or iPad or whatever.
I just think the social skills that that are developed when you're around and there's no authority figure,
Yeah.
right? It really changes behaviors.
Oh yeah.
And now we grow up, or people grow up now, and they have authority figure their entire life.
Yeah.
And we didn't. We had hours
Right.
of the day.
It was for It was
That
for
we
us to figure out, us to make the decisions.
Yeah.
You know.
You'd have older kids come in and run you out, or you'd have a
Yeah.
bum, or you'd have a sketchy adult maybe, or and not like they were trying to kidnap us or rape us or anything crazy like
Right.
that, but just somebody a little weird, you
Yeah.
know. And we had to like navigate those with nobody's help,
Right. I mean.
and we learned how to do that. And I think that the same skills that we learned then helped us be better adults because I don't need an authority figure now.
Yep.
I developed where I don't need anybody else to watch over my life to tell me what's safe, not safe, how to act in the situation or whatever.
Exactly.
But like a lot of kids now, especially 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, they've never had a time where there wasn't an authority figure that says, "Trust me, I'm your authority. I know better than you."
Right.
Because you can't let your kids out of your sight, a lot anymore, and so it's I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, but yeah, I get where you're coming from, though. I mean, you have kids in college that don't know how to live on their own yet. Like, I mean, come on, just get it together. Like, I'm not saying you have to be already working and already own a house. I'm not saying that, but like, if you can't make a decision without calling mom and dad at that point in your life, like something's wrong.
Renee was saying yesterday she had a student that did a presentation on like a how-to presentation and did it on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And somebody was like asking silly questions about it was kind of just being a bit of a troll, right?
Right.
And was asking, do you put the jelly on or the peanut butter, which one first? And the kid actually was like, well, I don't really know. My mom actually makes my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for me. It's like, you are 18 years old, man. Like,
Man, I remember cooking full dinners when I was like 9.
yeah.
When mom and dad are outside or whatever. I'm hungry. Whatever. Here we go. Let's do it.
At least when I was in high school, I started
Yeah.
because like I was hungry. I'm hungry. I want food, and
Yeah.
nobody's making anything right now. That's me. I gotta go. Is there something here? I'm gonna
Time-
make this steak because if
time
I
to
make
figure
it
it
and
out.
eat it, I don't have to share it, and I want the whole thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Uh. What else?
Oh man, I think we're gonna get another puppy.
Yeah?
I think we're gonna get Mason his own lab. He wants one. I kind of talked to him about it without spilling the beans too much. Um, Probably won't be ready till around Christmas, I would say. So it'll actually work out great. Christmas gift also. But I'm ready for another puppy. I'm ready for another lab anyway. Chief just turned 5 a couple weeks ago. No, last week. Last weekend, Chief turned 5, and man, one of the funniest things I think ever happened. Like not ever, but it was just hilarious. So me and Megan were still in bed. Carson and Mason were awake, ready to get the day started. Well, it was Chief's birthday, so the night before we had cooked steaks, and we had quite a bit of leftover steak. So we put it in the fridge. We're gonna have steak and eggs that morning, and so Megan told Carson, hey, it's Chief's birthday. Why don't you go outside and throw him some sticks? Play fetch with some sticks. So, 30 minutes goes on. Me and Megan get up, and we're going to go cook steak and eggs for breakfast and have a good breakfast. And I open the fridge. I'm like, where's the steaks at? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, did you throw them away? She's like, no, I didn't do anything with them. I was like, well, I put them in the fridge. So where's the platter at that they were on? So she checks the dishwasher. She's like, it's not in here. So I walk outside to go ask Carson where the steaks are. And I see the platter sitting out there on the porch, empty, no steaks on it. So I hollered at Carson to come here. I was like, what are you doing, bud? And what'd you do with all the steaks? He said, well, it was Chief's birthday, so we played fetch with steaks. Like, Mom said sticks. No, Mom said steaks. Whatever. Like, we laughed about it. It's hilarious, man. Just out there throwing freaking ribeyes for my dog. Like, did he bring any back? He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, I didn't figure.
Can I come over on my birthday? Because I will play fetch for
exactly.
ribeyes. A platter of ribeyes.
A ribeye down. Yeah. Yeah, and it was, I cooked 3 steaks that night, and we had, probably a good solid whole steak left. That was getting tossed around for fetch.
You loved it.
And at one point, Carson even came back inside and was like, he kind of talks funny sometimes anyway. So apparently he said, we're out of steaks. But Megan interpreted it as, what are you talking about? We have 3 acres worth of sticks. Go find him a stick and throw it for him. Oh, he was out of steaks. It's a good thing. We didn't just go to the freezer and get more out.
Get more steaks. 20 pounds.
Right. But
How much beef did you get?
I
Do you
got
know?
a half beef. I don't remember the exact weight of it. I got like 260 pounds just in burger alone.
Wow.
And I had 3 whole boxes that were just literally steaks and roast. That was it. So 260 something pounds, and I don't know how much it was in steaks, but it was a lot. A lot of meat. And it's so worth it.
And that all came from Justin?
Yeah. Justin Underwood's beef is just, we talked about it here at lunch. We had a Save-A-Lot steak, which is great. It's a great steak. It's better than the Walmart stuff.
Yep.
But the beef from Underwood, you don't even have to season it if you don't want to. Just throw it on the grill, get it warm, and eat it because it's that much different.
I think just grass-fed and
Right.
and local, it fresh,
Yep, just exactly. Just knowing exactly where that beef comes from. He grain feeds them out, towards the end, and he's got a science to it. He knows exactly how to do it because I've never had a bad piece of beef from him.
Yeah, I always say he's one of the best cooks.
Oh,
So are you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Any of our friends, they'd be like, "Hey, I'm cooking. I'm on my way."
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
On my way. Yeah. Exactly.
So that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanna. That's what I told Davey is I want to interview Justin on here too, and talk about the beef and what he does and the farm and everything.
Yeah. It's great.
Do you have any? You do some guided hunts or draw hunts or whatever. Do you got any of those coming up?
No. I didn't even put in for a managed hunt this year. Dropped the ball, forgot, and by the time I remembered, it was too late and it was closed down. So I screwed up on that. I am gonna apply for a New Mexico elk tag in January. It's like a $20 application fee or something, or maybe even less than that. I can't really remember, but to try to draw for a unit down there in New Mexico for elk next year.
And then now there's elk here in Missouri that they released, and then what did I see? Something that they were talking about that there might be a hunting season for them.
Yeah, they're talking about maybe in just a few years, which it'll be a managed hunt style platform. Everybody in the state can put in for it if they want, but only a few people will get drawn. And I'd imagine that'll be coming up. I would say a lot of the older bulls are getting, and even some of the older cows are getting up there in age. They're gonna die naturally anyway, so I figure they're probably just gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. I wouldn't be surprised to see 10 tags come out though, if it's that many.
Now, when you hunt, obviously where we live here in the Midwest, hunting is very common.
Right.
You go to Chicago or even the heart of St. Louis, and the opinion about hunting or firearms and the purpose of it completely changes.
Oh yeah.
Um, but around here, we understand more about it. But you're going after the older bulls, usually the older males, because they are useless to the survival of
Right.
the herd, right?
Yep. And yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's why I'd say they'll do more of a managed style hunt because, and not just that, they're most of the time, unless they're on the downhill slope, they're going to be the biggest. They're going to be your trophy animal, which I don't know if Missouri will do where we can shoot cows and bulls, or I would imagine the first managed hunt will probably strictly be bull elk and
Because
save.
the goal is to, I mean, because the goal of hunting is conservation of
Right.
the herd and proper management,
Exactly.
and sometimes if there's not the proper predators, because there were way different predators here
Yep.
when we settled North America, there were wolves and things present,
Right.
you know,
Which are
in this
dang
area
near extinct at this point.
exactly, and they're not here, and it allows these um, types of animals for their oh, I'm having a struggle talking right now. But it allows for their populations just to grow so fast.
Right. Yeah.
And then the like an old bull might stunt the population growth because they're not able to continue making babies or mate, right?
Right.
Like
For
it's
for breeding purposes. I mean, they still might be the bigger, stronger bull that still might be winning the ladies over, but he might not be doing anything for us at that point.
right.
And I'm real excited. I think it might not even happen. For the next 20 years, but I think sooner or later we'll have such a healthy elk population that it will be a season every year. There'll be a season. We won't have to worry about drawing tags, and we can just go out and naturally hunt elk, like they used to. It worked out for Tennessee. I think Tennessee and I want to say Kentucky did this whole rehoming thing for elk, and it boomed for them out there. So, and where they put them down, around Ellington and stuff, and I mean it's pretty mountainous down there. It's big canyons and through the Ozarks, and I think it'll be awesome.
What about black bear?
I don't know that we'll ever get a season on them, honestly. And if they did, I could see maybe like the southwest side of the state, down around Springfield and by the lakes and stuff like that. Because I mean, sooner or later they're gonna become a problem. I mean, there's been so many sightings over the last 10, 15 years alone
Right.
that shows that I mean, sooner or later they're gonna be here full swing. I mean, they're here full swing right now, but like I said, I don't know if it'll ever be fully open to the public, or at least not anytime soon. I could imagine maybe having this, like I said, the southwest corner of the state, because there's a lot more down there, just with all the forests and the lakes, and Arkansas is loaded in them, So oh, it would be cool though. I mean, I would love to just go hunting and smack a black bear, shut it down.
The neighbor's mower became so loud that we could barely hear ourselves talk, so we ended the podcast here.